Hi, I'm Eve Menezes Cunningham from selfcarecoaching.net, and today I thought I'd share a unique EFT tapping script to help you integrate as much as you want to from the past decade in terms of challenges you've overcome, achievements, what you're most grateful for, the energies you're ready to continue with to build on, and also looking ahead over the coming decade, thinking about the energies you want to bring into the 2020s and beyond. So with all EFT, we start with what's known as a setup statement. So you may have done some of my videos in the past, you may have tried EFT elsewhere. My words are likely to not be completely accurate with yours. I'm not psychic, so do feel free as we go along to change to say something that has more resonance for yourself at any point. But the setup statement we do 3 times at the beginning, and we start with even though, and then we complete it with I deeply and completely love and accept myself. If that feels too impossible, then I'm okay. But the idea of this setup statement is no matter what's going on, because we're integrating the past decade and looking ahead, it's not going to be like even though I'm in pain, or it's not going to be a really negative starting point. It's more of a grounding, growing one. But still, the past decades may have been quite tough. So by saying you deeply and completely love and accept yourself, there's already an element of healing, there's already an element of recovery. You're accepting yourself exactly as you are, rather than feeling that you need to feel differently in order to be lovable and acceptable. So that alone, that statement can be really powerful. So you might want to begin saying something like, even though the past decade has been tough, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have struggled these past 10 years, even though I'm very glad to have made it through, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though it feels like it's been an enormous struggle, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So you can play with that for as long as you want. You can pause the video, you can just take it at your own time. You might want to say the same setup statement 3 times, or mix it up the way I just did, but with words that are more relevant for where you are right now. So then we move around the upper body to the acupressure points. I've just been doing EFT on myself while swimming without actually tapping, just visualising the points while talking to myself. And there's such a power in that self-compassion, that self-empathy, that checking in with, how am I feeling right now? How would I like to feel? So if you think about the previous decade, that's what the first round we're going to do is going to be about. So the points again, we start with the inner eyebrow, the outside of the eye, under the eye, above the lip, the chin, the collarbone. This is a kinesiology point. I've just messed with the microphone, so that might sound strange, but this is a kinesiology point for confidence. So hopefully that will help. The under the side of the bra strap for women. Again, I might be messing with the sound quality here. And then the top of the head, messing with the reindeer antlers here. So we're going to go around those points as we talk through these phrases. So since 2009, I've been through a lot. There have been times where I thought I might not make it through. There have been times where I felt like nothing I did was good enough. I'm going to think of my biggest challenge now and just tap as I think about what it was I've overcome or am overcoming as we speak. I'm going to honour that even when things haven't been tough, I've done my best. I've kept getting back up. I'm going to honour all I've done, all I've overcome, all the challenges I've met, all the mountains I've climbed. I'm going to honour the past. I'm going to integrate the past. I'm going to bring the helpful energies from this past decade and my whole life into the coming decades. Harvest that strength, harvest that resilience, harvest that power, build on it, not throw babies out with bathwater. Know that even if things have been really tough, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, whatever. And I accept myself for all I've done, all I've overcome, even if I feel like I should have overcome it more easily. I'm going to take some time to honour that. So if you want to pause the video now for a few moments, and if you have a journal or you want to grab a journal or just a piece of paper, write down some of the challenges you've overcome. Write down some of the things that you thought might defeat you this past decade, things that were really tough, especially if you were comparing yourself to others who seem to be doing life more easily. Really honour the grit, the determination, the resilience. For some people, it looks like they're having great success. For other people, getting showered, getting dressed can feel like an enormous deal. So really honour those times where even the smallest things were huge challenges and you managed, you kept getting up. Honour that. So when you're ready, start it up again, and we'll do another round on the previous decade, but this time looking at some of our accomplishments, some of the things we're really proud of ourselves for transforming in our lives, transforming in ourselves, accepting in ourselves, allowing more freedom around. So I can look back over the past decade and I can acknowledge the part I've played in some of my successes, in all of my successes. Not saying that others didn't help, that there was luck involved, that other things played a part, but I can look and recognise that the way I handled things helped the outcome that I wanted. So it's okay to look back and to own my successes, to blow my own trumpet, to honour what I've achieved, what I've transformed in my life, what I've transformed in myself, to build on that as I begin to look forward to the next decade and beyond, the next day and beyond if decade feels too much. But by looking at all the things I managed, it will help build my confidence to move forward with greater ease and enjoyment and peace. So I honour my accomplishments. I let myself be proud of my accomplishments. So another deep breath. And if you want to, pausing, journaling a little around your accomplishments, looking back, what have been the biggest things that stand out when you think about the past decade right now? What springs to mind? What skill sets have you developed? What qualifications have you earned? What big moves have you made? What humans have you created and grown and kept alive? What that's for parents and babysitters and what have you. But think about the things that you potentially take for granted and just own it all, write it all down. Give yourself some time to integrate that energy before moving forward. So another big breath, noticing how you feel as you think about that. I'm beginning to think about the weeks ahead, the months ahead, the years ahead, and the decade ahead, and fast forwarding to 10 years from now, thinking about 2029. What would you like to be different in your life as you leap forward in your imagination? Where would you like to be living? What would you like to be doing? Who would you like to be with? What would you like to be surrounded by? How would you like to be spending your days? You may want to start journaling at this point before we start tapping. So maybe pausing for a few moments and just making it as vivid as you can, using your imagination, using all your senses to make it vivid and real. Notice what kind of clothes you're wearing in your imagination. Notice all sorts of little details and make a note to help anchor those details, help you remind yourself in the coming days, the coming weeks, the coming months, the coming years of these larger energies you want to bring into your life, these larger goals you're moving towards in either a very planned strategic way or trusting that energy, whatever works for you, maybe a mixture of both. So we'll finish with a round honouring your capacity to change your life and to build on what you've already changed, what you've already healed, what you've already recovered from. So I look forward to feeling better every day, each and every day. Even when things are tough, I look forward to knowing that I've handled worse and I can handle it again. And I look forward to greater ease, greater peace and enjoyment. Things being easier, building on all the efforts, keeping that reminder of how far I've come and knowing how far I can go if I not only put my mind to it, but trust, get still, get quiet, pay attention to the guidance available to me. I'm flexible about the feedback I'm getting from the world, adapting my approach accordingly, taking care of the things that help me function at my best, setting those healthy boundaries, asserting myself, making time for the things that matter, making time to move forward towards those goals, making time for myself, whatever that means for you. I'm ready for 2020 and the whole new decade. I'm ready for it to be my best decade yet. So taking another deep breath, noticing how you're feeling, making as many notes, maybe looking online for pictures, or if you're more artistically driven, drawing yourself, maybe using fabrics, maybe using smells, using as many sensory experiences to make what will help you anchor where you want to be moving towards in the coming decade. You might be very happy where you're living. It might not be physical movement in any way, shape or form, but just thinking about some of the insights that might have sprung to mind. You might want to continue doing this particular tapping script over the next couple of weeks into the new year and just build on it. Notice those insights that come up for you each time you do it. Ground them with journaling, and wishing you the happiest of Christmases and New Years. And I look forward to sharing more in due course.